Hi, Taylor. Thank you so much for coming on the Power Women Wellness podcast. How are you today?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited to talk to the hair queen herself. If no one follows you yet on social media, her links are in the bio because I just love everything that you share and you always make it so enticing. So just wanted to say that something so mundane as like hair loss. I don't know. I feel like your videos are so entertaining.
Oh, thank you so much. I try really hard to keep them entertaining and educational.
Yes. All right. So kick us off. Tell us who you are and what do you do?
Okay, awesome. I'm Taylor Rose. I am an IAT certified trichologist, primarily focused on helping women regrow their hair through natural solutions.
Very cool. And I'm so curious, what got you into that?
Definitely. So I actually started losing my hair in my temple region at the end of high school, and it got worse and worse throughout college, post-college. It was probably 4 years post-college that I was like, okay, I'm going to end up with 2 huge bald spots if I don't take this into my own hands. And so like everybody who discovers TikTok and hair talk, I started going through all these different solutions. I was doing like 100 things at once, which I now recommend against doing, of course, but I did end up finding something that worked for me, which was rosemary oil, and just fell in love with natural hair regrowth. And during COVID, everyone was bored and stuck at home. So I started posting my journey on TikTok, and I just realized how many women are suffering from this and how taboo it is to talk about women's hair loss, how many people need help. And it just grew this passion in me for helping women.
Oh my gosh. I love when there's like that personal journey that kind of led you to where you're at. And now your hair is like thriving. I love your hair.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's awesome. And I'm curious, what brand for rosemary oil do you use? And if you by chance have a link, send it to me afterwards because I'd love to put that in the show notes.
Definitely. So right now I kind of go through a bunch of different brands just because in my opinion, it doesn't really matter what brand it is as long as it's like an 100% pure rosemary essential oil. But I actually do. So there's like different ways to incorporate rosemary oil into your hair growth routine. So there's like, you can add it into your shampoo, or you can do a pre-mixed, you can mix, dilute rosemary oil and do a pre-wash treatment on your scalp, which I, of course, do both because obsessed. But so I've actually been experimenting with my own kind of concoctions, and I'm going to be releasing my own rosemary oil line very soon.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I love that. Look at that.
So
like something so little, no, big in your life. It's hair loss, but in the grand scheme of things, it seems pretty little, but it's like created this passion and like this whole business. That's incredible.
I know. I love it.
I know. And so you're like in the thick of, I don't know, would you consider yourself like a startup a little bit still, or?
Yeah, I guess so. It's still weird to think about because in February I was still working a corporate job, and this was just like totally for fun, just on the side. And all of a sudden I realized, I woke up one day and I was like, oh my gosh, like there's so many women that are like relying on these videos, and I get thousands of DMs and questions and comments, and I'm like, I need to focus on this because not only do I love this way more than my corporate job, but people need this. Like no one's talking about it.
Yeah. And you went to school.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that actually happened. I quit my corporate job, and within the month I enrolled in trichology school.
Cool. Wow. That's awesome. So being a startup, because I know we do interviews across the board, people who are very established and people are new. So it's going to be interesting to hear kind of your routine, I guess, of like what you do to keep your sanity. As like a growing new like business. So we'll start off with morning routines. So walk us through your typical morning. And this is everything from like, what are you drinking? What are you eating? What are you doing for mindset? Anything in that regard. We love all the details. We're just nosy Nollies over here, and we just want to know what people are doing.
No, I love talking about it too, because my morning routine is like, if I don't get my morning routine in, I feel like my whole day is off. So I'm like, and no one, everyone always asks me about hair. Like no one's asking about my morning routine. So I'm like very excited to talk about this.
Yes, I'm like throwing your hair stuff too. Like that's what sometimes when I ask that question, it can seem pretty broad, but I'm like, no, like tell us like, what are you doing for your teeth? What are you doing for your skin? Like what, like these are the things people want to know. Like how are you glowing in this crazy stage of life?
No, for sure. So I would say the biggest thing for me, just like as a human, I have always been someone who does not function well on no sleep. So
Okay.
I like need my 8 hours at least, maybe 8.5 hours to function. So sleep is like very important for me. And I like waking up early. Like I feel like I'm a morning person, but I have a hard time getting out of bed. So I actually just got this alarm clock called the Lofty alarm clock. And
Oh,
it's like a 2-step. So I usually get up around 6:30 and it's a 2-step alarm. So it'll start going off at 6:30 and it's really quiet. And it's just like these natural noises that are supposed to wake you up. And then like,
cool.
I know. So like I don't even notice that I've woken up, but I'm a little bit more like coherent. And then when phase 2 goes off, which is more of like the typical alarm, but it's still very quiet compared to like a harsh alarm, I'm like up,
Yeah.
I'm like ready to go, which is so different from when I wake up in the middle of a dream to a crazy blaring alarm clock.
Yes.
I'm like obsessed with this alarm clock right now, the Lofty
Well,
alarm clock.
I feel like that seems very natural too. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna have to look into that because
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I feel way better because I feel like it lets me get through my sleep cycle and through that like REM instead of just waking up right in the
Yes.
middle of an REM cycle. So yeah,
That's the
that's how
worst.
that's the first thing that happens is this amazing alarm clock. Um, After that, I've been getting up and I will sip on some bone broth, which I think is something you had me
Oh,
doing.
yes.
I love it. It makes me feel really good. So I sip on some bone broth and do a 5-minute journaling, which is just like setting my intentions for the day, as well as I do some manifesting too in there, just because
Cool.
it puts me in like kind of a fun mindset for the day. Then I will go and feed my animals. So I have 2 cats and a dog, and they're usually ready for breakfast by that time. Um, let's see, after that, I typically eat breakfast and catch up on my emails, my social media. I'll try to reply to some comments, that type of thing. Just get the ball rolling for the day before diving into actual work.
Yeah.
And then after that, I meditate for 10 minutes and get ready for the day, do my skincare, hair care, makeup, depending on the day. Sometimes I will be filming, so I'll have to do like the full glam, and other
Yeah.
days I just throw my hair up and do a little bit of cover up and we're good to go.
That's awesome. So what does your hair look like for the morning?
Like my hair routine.
Yeah.
Ooh, it depends on the day. So obviously I'm a hair care page, so I'm always trying new products.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hard because people are like, what do you use? And it's like, I don't have
No,
any consistent
yeah, I'm sure
besides,
that
like
you try.
rosemary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure you try like all these different things. I do the same with like food. It's just like what's your favorite like collagen? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of constantly trying new things. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess there's some things that or some brands I could, mention, but I'm the same way, just kind of
Yeah.
trying different
And
things
it's
all the
like
time.
people are like, do you recommend doing that? And I'm like, no, like I don't recommend doing it. I just do it because, it's like, yeah, I have straight hair, so I'll use straight hair
Yeah.
products, but then I have curly girls asking me for the best curly girl products. And I don't
Yeah.
like to recommend things that I haven't personally tried. So it's like now I'm trying these curly girl products just to make sure they're not like irritating and drying. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
know
For
they're not
sure.
the best for my hair, but I feel the need to try them if I'm going to recommend them.
For sure. For sure. So is
So
it just like your typical brush? I don't know.
yeah, brush. I'll usually, depending if it's like, obviously a wash day is going to be completely different than a normal day. So on a normal day, I just brush it. And sometimes I put like a light, like a jojoba oil on my ends.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I put it in whatever style, which is I usually either just leave it down or put it in like a low loose braid if I'm not filming.
Okay. Do you use a lot of heat? So do you use like,
No. So I tend to use heat maybe once a week. And I'll do that on the day that I film, which is actually, I used to film every single day and I would film like one video for the next day. But now I batch film, which I don't love doing it just because I like to be like new and fresh every day. Like, here's how I'm feeling today. Here's my video for
yes.
today. But for my hair's sake, I've been filming like a whole week in a row because I only do my heat on my hair that one day.
Okay. Okay. That makes total sense. And I'm with you. Like it definitely feels better to batch content. But one thing that I hate is that and not that this is the end all be all and that everyone should do this, even though you kind of do a lot of original audios. So it's like a lot of talking, but if you're trying to stick to like, or trying to figure out like the trends and stuff for like music, you can only batch like so far in advance and stuff, which sucks.
Exactly.
So I at least plan for the day, but I'm with you. I mean, I think I have to be on video. I feel like more often, like meeting
Yeah.
people and stuff pretty frequently. So I feel
Mhm.
like I have to get ready like every day, not every day. If it's just like all phone calls, I definitely will be in like my PJs and just like, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe no hair, but I feel like just being on Instagram stories and stuff. I don't know. I just feel like I kind of have to get ready all
Yeah.
throughout the time. But even though I know that there's little stuff you can do to schedule like stories, but I just don't do that. It's very on point.
Agreed. Agreed.
So I'm jealous though that like you can batch it all at once and just have that one day that you're using like I don't know,
Yeah. Heat on the
getting
hair.
ready, like
Makeup.
fully getting ready. Yeah.
No, and I used to be the same way where I felt like, well, if I'm going to post a story for the day, I have to be ready. Like I have to have makeup on. And I've kind of like, it's been a mental health exercise for me posting,
Ooh.
days that I'm not ready at all. And I feel like I look like crap. And I'm like, you know what? This is me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna post this. I'm just going to post it. It doesn't matter,
Ditto for
Yeah.
sure. I've gotten over that as well. So like I'll like post, well, again, I tend to see people like throughout the day, so I'll have to get ready anyways, but I'm
Mhm.
definitely not afraid to post at night when all the like my lashes are off and like I have no well, I don't really wear makeup except lashes, but
Yeah.
just looking like a hot mess. Like I do not care anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I want people to see me if they ever ran into me in person to be like, who are you?
Exactly. And that's how I felt at first. Like I would always do full glam for everything. And I'm like, if somebody ever ran into me at like the grocery store, they're not going to recognize me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious, what's like your go-to, and it obviously changes, throughout, but do you have a go-to breakfast right now?
Yes. So I currently have been focused on like a really high protein diet for hair purposes, of course, and
Mhm.
just general health. So I've been doing a protein coffee, which is I'll
Oh,
put a scoop of my favorite protein powder in with my coffee, mix it up, which I love. It tastes amazing and I feel great after. And then I will there's these I want to say they're called like keto egg witches from Costco. And it's just
that sounds familiar.
it's like it's a sausage patty with cheese and then it's between two egg patties. So it's just like all
Cool.
protein, some fat, no carbs, and it's great. I love them. They're so easy.
Nice. That's awesome. And what about your nighttime? What does that
My
look like?
What's that?
Nighttime routine.
Oh,
So
night.
before you go to bed.
Ooh, I would say I typically eat dinner pretty early. I try to be done eating by 7 to give my body like time to digest before I go to bed. Um, and then I will so like I said, I have 2 cats and a dog, and I will take them all on a walk because my cats love going on walks too, which is like my neighbors
Your
find it.
cat?
Yes. So I'm like the crazy cat lady walking her 2 cats and dog.
That is hilarious. Like they walk, or you like strolling them?
Usually in a
Or
stroller, but they do go on their harness sometimes. They're just
okay.
like really slow. So I'll only walk them like around our little circle drive.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I love
I
that.
know.
I mean, hey, they need fresh air too.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll do that. And then after that, I usually will read for about an hour and then do either a meditation, or I think you also got me hooked on this brain dumping before bed, which I
Yeah.
just write everything down that's on my mind so that I can go to bed without overthinking.
Yes. I just did that last night too. And I was like, oh crap, this is a very long list. I'm so glad like I got it out
Yeah.
of my brain, because it's all the things that you're holding on to that you don't realize you're holding on to. And
Yes.
then like when you actually see it and you're like, wow, that was all in my head.
Yeah, the first day that you had me do that, I wrote like 3 pages. I just wrote like stuff I have to do upcoming, and it was like 3 pages. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I had like 5 things.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is my day today. Seriously. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh crap. I guess it's all the little things I've been putting off throughout like the
Yes,
week. Like, oops.
exactly. So that's been awesome. And then the Lofty alarm clock also has meditation. So I'll do one of those like right before I go to bed too.
Oh my, I'm looking this up like after we get off
It's
the phone.
amazing.
I love that. And what's your so I know you covered breakfast, like what else? Like do you have go-tos for lunch and dinners?
Yeah, so usually for lunch, I will just have like a huge salad, and I like to mix up my veggies, try to get, some ones that I haven't tried in a while. And I try to have like 4 or 5 different veggies in there, and then I'll put like either grilled steak or grilled chicken on top for that protein and like a Greek yogurt dressing typically.
Oh,
Yeah. And then I like it. Like I'll have an apple. I love apples. That's like my favorite food in the world. So I'll like have an apple every single day, usually at lunch, and some coconut water for potassium.
ooh. I've been the other day I had an apple and I used Oat House
Uh-huh.
and their new flavor brownie batter, and it's so good. And it's just like organic, like oats, maple syrup. It's so good if you've never tried it. But I like just kind of drizzled that over apples, and I was just like, oh my
Ooh,
God, this is so good.
yum. I know the apple's like the one fruit to me that I'm like, this is a dessert. This is not a fruit. This is a dessert.
That's how I feel with bananas. I
Really?
definitely have a banana a day, mostly because I do like usually like a protein shake during the day. And
Yeah.
like bananas are my favorite way to sweeten and then like add texture. Oh my gosh, I love bananas. So when people tell me they don't like bananas, I'm like, you're so weird.
You're crazy. I'm actually allergic to bananas, which is like the saddest thing ever because I used to love bananas.
That is really sad.
I know.
I hate those weird allergies that like just aren't typical and they're real weird. And you're like,
I
oh, that
know.
sucks.
Yeah. And my dad always had a banana allergy and I thought it was so weird. And then one day I ate a banana and my eyes were huge and I'm like, what's happening?
Oh my gosh.
Just like came out of nowhere. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. And then what does your dinner look like?
yeah, dinner. So this week I kind of do like week by week where I'll have like the same thing for a week in a row and then I'll change it up.
Nice.
Just to make it easy because yeah, especially after work, I'm just like ready to eat and chill for the night. So this week I've been there's this chickpea pasta. It's like pasta made out of chickpeas. I think it's
Yeah.
called Bonanza.
Bonza.
Yeah.
Bonza.
Yes.
Love that
Like
one.
it's something like that. So I've been having that with like a really simple sauce and chicken on top.
Ooh.
That's a really good staple.
And just for everyone's clarification, are you all of the stuff? Is it just you? Do you have someone else you cook for, like you and a spouse or a boyfriend, or
No, I just cook for myself.
just you? Okay,
Yep.
cool. So for all the ladies that are, by yourself, I love that because, everything I recommend is like, always gotta have the family in mind. Not like
Yeah.
annoying, but it's just like I always have to think for more than just myself. So it's really cool
Yeah.
to see that you're just thinking for yourself and that's what you're doing. I'm curious what your two favorite healthy meals like on your deathbed have to have. Obviously can be like, I guess unhealthy, but it's healthy points. But what would those be?
I would say, I don't know if it's healthy or not, but sushi.
Oh yeah, sushi's healthy for sure.
I am an addict. Like I am addicted to all sushi. I like love raw fish, which I know it's probably not great to over consume, but I freaking love it. So definitely sushi, honestly. And then for the second one, just any seafood, like scallops. Shrimp.
Okay, so you're a seafood gal.
I'm so into seafood. Yeah.
I just got into that, I think in my early 20s. I used to hate it. I don't know
Really?
why. Blame my mom. Maybe she cooked it wrong. But I just got into it. I've never tried sushi. I can't get over the rawness. And yes, do I think parasites? Yes, of course. And that's actually something you always kind of have to ask for people who love sushi is, that does increase your risk for parasites and stuff. But I don't know. It's just the texture, I think. And just, the idea of it not being cooked, I just mentally can't overcome it. I've had like veggie sushi, but not like sushi.
Right. Yeah. I think sushi was like, it was my gateway food to raw fish because it's like
Really
just a little tiny chunk of raw fish in there. And I was like, okay, this is okay. Cause I was kind of weirded out at first too. And I started eating sushi where it's like just that little chunk. And then it kind of evolved. And now I'll eat like the whole, ahi tuna or like poke.
My husband loves it.
Chunks of raw. And I just love it. My mom's always like, don't eat that. You're going to get parasites. And I'm like, it's worth it.
That's funny. Yeah. My husband loves it too. So most people I feel like do, I feel like that's majority than people like me. That's like, yeah, no.
Yeah, it is weird to think about. It's like once you get past that, it's okay. But every once in a while I'll be eating it and I'll think about it. I'm like, this is kind of weird.
What do you think it is about the sushi? Do you think it's like the combination of everything together? Or is it specifically, I don't know, just raw fish just being so good? Or is it the dips that I don't know. Curious what it is.
I think it's a combination. Like I also just like being able to pop it into my mouth. Like I like the size of it, just like a little bite size. And then of course I love soy sauce. Like I try not to put too much, but any salty thing I love. So
yeah, salt for sure. And I know you kind of mentioned walks, but I'm curious, like, do you have any other like exercise routine or anything else that you do for your fitness?
Yeah, so I lift weights a lot. I love weightlifting. I have been into that for years and years and years. I actually, before I started posting about hair, I was a fitness page. And
No way.
yeah, I was going to get my, personal training certificate. I was like very into it. I'm still very into it, but I just don't post it anymore because it attracted a lot of creepy men. And I was like, this is not my vibe. Like, women are my vibe, not creepy men. So
Yes.
that's why I kind of changed to like the beauty stuff. But yeah, a lot of weightlifting. I've been doing some Pilates, which I really like. And I
Ooh.
just started doing Muay Thai, which is way out of my comfort zone, but I was looking for something to kind of challenge me and take me outside of that comfort zone. So it's been interesting.
Ooh, what is that? I'm guessing it's
Muay
a
Thai?
type of, yeah,
It's kind of I would say self-defense type of a
cool.
martial arts.
Ooh,
Lots of like punches and kicks and very, I really wanted to
nice.
do Brazilian jiu-jitsu, but that's more like being able to use, because I'm only 5'3", so it's being able to use your, body, use other people's body weight against them. So if a 6'3" man's attacking me on the street, being able to flip them over and like pin them. But I was a little bit too insecure to start that class right away. So I was like, we're gonna transition to Muay Thai first.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I think I ran into a couple of like self-defense videos lately on social media, and I was just like,
Mhm.
that's so badass. Like I want to do that.
Yeah, I like love cities, but I'm always too nervous to like walk around downtown cities by myself. So I'm like, I need to,
Yeah.
get a little bit more confidence going.
Yeah. Do you even in the day or just like more so at night?
Yeah, even in the day. I mean, yeah. There's been a couple creepy situations that have happened and it's
Can
turned
yeah.
out fine, but like having that,
Yeah.
under my belt, just knowing that I could defend myself if needed would have been
For
nice.
sure. I'm all about control. So if I have couldn't even if I just know that I can, like, oh yeah, you're just so much more confident. And
Yeah.
obviously we're in Texas and concealed carry is a thing. So I feel a
Mhm.
little good there
Yeah.
as a mom. I'm not ashamed. But even that helped me like have confidence of just like come at me.
Yeah, exactly. Like I feel
It's just
so
like
different.
I can
I
defend
feel
myself. And same with like
yeah.
being able to defend yourself like physically. I want to learn that too. I think it's
Mhm.
just I think every woman needs it in this day and age.
I
So
totally agree because yeah, I feel so different when I walk by myself versus when I'm walking with my huge dog. When I have my dog with me, I'm
yeah.
like, come at me, like see what
Yeah. Yeah.
happens to you.
Yeah.
And the second I'm by myself, I'm like looking over my shoulder and all insecure and
For sure. I never even thought about it during the day. I think it's because like there's a lot of people, but
yeah.
at night, no, I'm even paranoid at night in like a suburban grocery store walking to my car.
Yes, yes.
Like,
I make my boyfriend come with me all the time. I'm like, I
yes,
can't go alone.
at night I'm very even no matter if I'm concealed carrying or I don't know, I'm super paranoid. I don't know.
Yes.
I've always had I think this vision when I ever since I was little, like bad things happen at night, even though it can happen at any time of the day. But I just
Right.
feel like extra bad things happen at
Oh,
night.
I agree. And it's like, I think it's also where I'm at. So like I go to New York every once in a while. When I'm in New York during the day, for some reason, I don't feel like I feel fine.
There's
But
so many people.
yes, but in Michigan, like our cities are still pretty small. So it's like it's very easy to be just you and one guy on the street for an hour. You know what I mean? Like they're
Wow.
still small. So it's there's
Yeah.
not as many people out and about.
Yeah. Oof. I know. I'm so thankful that I've never had an experience, but
Yeah.
yeah, anything in any regard, whether it's health or my safety or my kid's safety, like if I can have some control and not like, I think my biggest fear is being in a victim situation where I'm truly like, I just have no power. I can't fight against it, whether it's strength,
Mhm.
whether it's carrying, whatever it is, that
Yeah.
freaks me out to like the extreme. And again, it's like a control thing, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've got to have that.
I'm the
Gotta
same.
one up you in some way.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Even like, yeah, with my health too. It's like I have to have control
Yes.
over what's happening.
Yes. Yes. I got to be in the know. I got to know what to
Uh-huh.
do. I got to be taking action. That's what
Yes.
I mean, I feel like everyone that probably listens to this podcast has some type of drive just because they're
Right.
interested in learning, like, what are other people doing? But
Yes.
it is mind blowing when I come across people and they just don't care. And like, even like our friends' husbands, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I have like this health thing and I don't care. Like like they don't go to like, oh, I should probably check this out or I should probably do something about it. And I'm like, I mean, that's a little freeing actually to like think about like not caring. But then at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm like, how do you not care?
How? Yeah. Seriously, I'd be thinking about it 24/7.
Yes. So I'm all about that. I'm sure everyone else is listening. How do you, and I know that you don't have kids, and it's just
Mhm.
you, but how do you feel like you have been doing with balancing like work and like self-care and other things? So I know you have a boyfriend, so even like dating. So how do you feel it's going? And like, do you have any tips or tricks for keeping your sanity?
Yeah, so would say that I struggled a lot at first just because I am a bit of a workaholic, and I not in the bad way, not in the way where you're like, I can't do anything else and this is, I have to do it, I
Yeah,
have to do it, but like I love it. I love working. I love
me too.
putting my all into something. So my friends didn't really understand that. It was like,
Mm,
you need to take a break. You need to stop letting this run you. I'm like, I'm not letting it run me. I'm having fun. Like I like doing this. I'd rather be planning out, next month's content on a Friday night than going out to the bar. It's
yeah,
just it's just how I am.
me
So
too.
I think like learning to say no and to, do what I actually want to do has been very helpful for me balance wise. So now it's like when I do say yes and either go out with my friends or see my family, it's like I really want to be there. It's not,
Yeah,
I don't have any of these grudges like, oh, you're forcing me to come out and I really want to be doing this. It's like I said yes because
yeah.
I want to be here. I'm going to put my all into it. So that's been helpful balance wise.
I love that you mentioned that because that is so me. Like, just I'd rather be playing or doing something that seems so lame
Yeah.
for like a 30, I'm 30, so like a 30-year-old. And it's just like, what do you mean you should be like out and about? But I'm like, no, I love what I do. Like, I would
Yeah.
rather be reading research papers and doing
Yes.
my doctorate than
Hmm.
going out. That sounds so funny, like putting that out, but it's just like my personality. And it's just
Yeah.
like I love to work too. So I can very easily be like that workaholic as well because I love what I do. And
Yeah.
especially it's great if we can like incorporate it as a family or whatnot. When we
Hmm.
opened up our Houston location, we like took the kids and everyone came and we like, did stuff. So I love being able just to incorporate them both.
Yes.
So I love that you like that helps normalize it, right? Like it's okay
Yeah.
if you're
And
don't
it
want to
was
do that.
my boyfriend is like, I'm an introvert. My boyfriend is the biggest extrovert in the world. And I swear this kid has like 30 close guy friends. Like, I'm like, how do you have so many friends? And he just would be doing something every night if he could, like with his friends. And
Yeah.
he like cannot understand that I,
You know.
am not like that. And so we've been together almost 5 years. So it's been kind of like learning each other and respecting each other. I don't know where I was going with this, but
Yeah.
it's
No,
just,
it's so true. My husband is also an extrovert. I always feel like
Mhm.
though relationships tend to have one or the other, and it
Yes.
really helps pull like I not a fan of travel. I usually have to be forced into traveling and stuff, or it's like, oh, it's for the kids, fine, spring break,
Yeah.
but would I rather be home? Absolutely.
Yes.
But like, would I have ever gotten on my cruise, which is totally cruise one and done? Would I have ever done it without him? Probably not. So like, I
Right.
appreciate him for bringing me out of my introvertedness.
Yes.
I don't think he appreciates me trying to bring him out of his extrovertedness, but he does
Same.
need someone to force him to slow down because sometimes he
Yeah.
can go too much. So I always feel like sometimes relationships, that's just how it works, is
Yeah.
the opposites, and you just balance each other out, which is awesome.
Yep. Very true.
And that is self-care.
Exactly. Yeah. I felt like it was, especially in college too, like my friends always wanted to go out and I was like, I just didn't want to go to the bar. I just didn't have interest. And
Yeah.
it was like a lot of me fighting with myself. Like, well, this is normal. This is what you should be doing. Like, this is
Yes.
what you need to be doing. And once I let go of that fight with myself and just was like, I'm going to do what I feel like doing, I realized how many other people are like that and it's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what can contribute to a lot of like mental health stress, right? Is we're trying to
Yes.
be someone that we're not in any
Yes.
regard, whether it's on social or whether it's trying to force you to do things and not like just tuning in and just being you.
Hmm.
Which transitions me into asking like your favorite mental health tools. But I just love that because it's something we have to do. And I'm all about like authenticity and staying true to yourself.
Yes.
So such a fan of it. So favorite mental health tools though, what you got for us? And this can be anything from apps to books to podcasts to
Hmm.
I don't know, anything.
definitely. So there's an app called Insight Timer. It's a meditation app. So it has thousands and thousands of free meditations, and they're all categorized by what you need. Like some days I need confidence, some days I need manifestation, some days I just need acceptance. There's all these different ones. And I use that app like probably 3 or 4 times a day for all my breaks. I'll just do a little 5-minute meditation, and it's been instrumental for me.
Yes. I know. I just looked at it because I'm like, I remember using that and I loved it. I don't know why I don't have it on my phone. I think I switched over to the Balance app, which is really great. But anyways, I used to use Insight all the time and it's wonderful. So I love that.
Yeah, that's for sure my favorite. And then just like journalizing, brain dumping, those type of things. Getting 8 hours of sleep. It's not really a tool, but it's something I've learned about myself. Like I need that or I'm going to be cranky. So
100%. Me too. I know you said you're like 8.5. I'm 7. And so even if I get 7 or 6 hours, 55 minutes, there's something about the 7 mark. And honestly, even I can definitely get like 7 to 8 if I'm like really tired and my body needs it. But anything literally by a minute under 7 hours, I'm like, nope, no. I wake up to bed. Let's just start over today. Do you have a favorite, and this can be business, this can be self-development, books or podcasts that you've read in the past that you love or currently reading?
Yes. So I have a ton of books that I love, but podcast wise, this is the one I need to drop. The Chris Harder podcast.
Oh,
I have been listening to this man's podcast since it came out. So like years and years and years. And it was actually the reason I quit my job and had the confidence to do that. And he actually just followed me back on social media the other day. And I'm like, this is a win. Like this man doesn't understand how much his podcast has done for my life.
I'm fangirling. I love that.
Yeah. So he's like it's kind of like a self-help, but also like a money mentality podcast. And it's just amazing.
I love that. I would say and I've mentioned it before in previous episodes, but I think it's by Rachel Rogers, I believe. Okay. Everyone Should Be a Millionaire.
Yes, I love that book.
Oh my God, that book. I have it on, I think it's Audible. I bought it.
Me too.
And I remember listening and I'm like, okay, whenever I'm in like a money funk, like mindset of just, I don't know, whatever that is. And it's usually like super negative of like, and of course my brain likes to go like all the way down of like, we're going to go bankrupt. I'm going to have to close my business. That's just me. I like to think like that. My brain just travels down that little pathway. That book, I was like, okay, whenever I'm like that, re-listen to the book, like get your mind right. I was so fired up after that book. I agree. Honestly, it probably threw me into like a workaholic stage because I'm like, I'm so inspired.
The other one, it's called Rich as Fuck by Amanda Francis.
I've listened to that one. Yes.
Love. That was like the first one I ever listened to that got me really fired up. Actually, I read that one. And then I think a week later, I listened to the one by Rachel Rogers. And it was just like, I was on a rocket ship for a little bit after that.
Have you listened to Jen Sincero's You're a Badass at Making Money? That's a pretty common one.
Yes. Yeah, that one, I think I need to re-listen to it because I kind of listened to it in a week when I was like really busy and it was just in the background. So I wasn't really giving it my all.
Yeah.
So I didn't get as much out of it as I probably should.
Yeah. What about like other business books outside of like money stuff, self-development?
Let's see. Let me check. I actually have a list running. I know it's like really nerdy, but I made myself a goal this year of reading like a book a month. And I've been just reading like 2 or 3 a month, which has been amazing.
Amazing. I did too. I actually like made a chart and I put the picture of the book. Oh God, you think you're maybe you just have a running list. So I have like the picture and my rating, how much I
do too. That's what I'm looking. I'm like, what are my highest rated? The ones I have on here, they're okay. Business wise, there's one called The Mountain Is You, which is just like getting over, blocking your own blessings kind of, I would say.
Ooh, I love that.
That one was amazing. And then I just finished listening to Green Lights, the book by Matthew McConaughey.
How'd you like it?
I loved it. I was surprised because I was like,
really?
Yeah, I thought it would be a little bit more, I don't even know, just Matthew McConaughey, but it was very like inspirational. And it's pretty much like he talks a lot about, you hit these things that are what you consider red lights. Like maybe you didn't get the promotion or you didn't, get what you asked for, but in the future, you realize that was actually a green light that happened to you. Like that actually led to this awesome thing happening. So I loved it.
100%. Oh, I love that. I know I usually steer away for some reason from like, not autobiographies. I get would that can be considered an autobiography?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I usually steer away from it, but I also felt the same with like Chriselle Staus from,
Oh, really?
oh my gosh, Selling Sunset.
Yeah.
When her autobiography came out, I decided to like listen to it, and it was really cool to see where she came from, and like just, all of her insecurities and how she lacked confidence. And it's, again, to normalize like, wow, we all feel this way, no matter who you are, no matter how great you look on the outside, no matter how successful you look on the outside, we're literally all we have our insecurities and we lack confidence in certain areas, and we're all just kind of growing. And I don't know, I just loved that and normalized that, and seeing her, she's so beautiful and such a badass. And it's like, whoa, she started from really humble beginnings, like many of us.
That was same with Matthew McConaughey, like just seeing how he got to his stardom was so funny, because he's just this little guy from Texas. Like he just one day, like he was like, oh, I went out and I got my coffee and it was a normal day. The next day I did the same thing, went out and got my coffee, but everyone was staring at me, and all of a sudden I was famous. Like I didn't know what the heck to do. I didn't like it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm gonna have to read that book. I kind of naturally steer away from autobiographies. I don't know why, but now I want to read it. So yeah.
It was good. It was definitely worth the read.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you so much for spending all the time with us. How can we support you? Where can we find you? Share it here.
Yeah. The Healthy Her is spelled HUR on Instagram and TikTok, Pinterest, YouTube. I'm on all the social medias, but primarily I would say Instagram and TikTok.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Going into lightning round, we're going to do like 5, like either or. So just choose one or the other. All right. We're going to do guac or salsa.
Guac.
Okay. Delivery or dine out, like actually going to a place.
Ooh, dine out for sure.
Ooh.
I love dining.
Ooh, as an introvert too.
I know.
Afraid or embarrassed?
Ooh, embarrassed.
Camping or glamping?
Camping.
Oh, I was gonna say your little background there. Got that vibe.
I love the
woods. Sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers.
And pancakes or waffles?
Waffles.
Oh, I feel like that's a famous question. Pancakes or waffles? Who are you?
I know, I didn't even hesitate either. I was like, waffles.
Awesome. Well, Taylor, thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.